A web of lies so intricate it fooled an entire town. Meet Eleanor Williams, the girl who cried wolf. In the heart of Barrow-in-Furness, a 22-year-old named Eleanor Williams spun a tangled web of deceit that ensnared an entire community. With a seemingly innocent face and a knack for storytelling, she crafted a tale that was as horrifying as it was compelling. A tale of abduction, of violation, of inhuman treatment at the hands of an Asian grooming gang. But as the saying goes, not all that glitters is gold. And in this case, not all that is told is truth. Eleanor's claims, as shocking and horrifying as they were nothing but an intricate fabric of untruths, an elaborate fiction woven together with the threads of malice and manipulation. Her stories went viral, spreading like wildfire across the social media landscape. A local businessman, along with other men, found themselves in the crosshairs of her lies, their lives irreparably damaged. Her allegations acted as a catalyst, sparking an inferno of hate crimes and community tension that scorched the town's unity to the ground. Before the scandal, Eleanor Williams was just another face in the crowd. She was a girl of 22, living in the coastal town of Barrow-in-Furness, a place known more for its shipbuilding than any sort of scandal. Eleanor was, by all accounts, an ordinary girl. She held no great ambitions, no grand plans to shake the world. Her life was as predictable as the tides of the Irish Sea that brushed her hometown's shores. This was a girl who blended into the background, her life a series of mundane routines. She was neither a shining star nor a troubled soul, merely a young woman navigating the complexities of early adulthood. She was a face in the crowd, a name on a register, a girl you'd pass on the street without a second thought. But beneath the veneer of normalcy, a storm was brewing. Eleanor was not content with being just another face in the crowd. She craved attention, recognition, a sense of importance that her ordinary life failed to provide. And so she began to weave a web of deceit, a story so sensational that it would thrust her into the limelight and shatter the tranquility of her quiet seaside town. Her life became a carefully crafted fiction, a narrative of suffering and abuse designed to captivate and horrify. She spun her tales with such conviction, such apparent sincerity, that they began to take on a life of their own. And as these stories spread, they sowed seeds of discord and mistrust, turning neighbor against neighbor, community against community. Eleanor Williams, the ordinary girl from Barrow-in-Furness, was no longer ordinary. She had become a central figure in a drama of her own making, a protagonist in a story that would shock the nation. Little did anyone know, this ordinary girl was about to set off a firestorm. The stage was set and the curtains were drawn. It was time for Eleanor's performance. Eleanor Williams, a girl of just 22 years from Barrow-in-Furness, was not a stranger to the art of deception. She began spinning a web of lies so intricate, so detailed, that it was almost believable. She claimed she was being abused not by one, not by two, but by multiple men. Among them was a local businessman, a respected figure in the community who found himself suddenly in the eye of a storm. Her tales were not just mere words spoken in hushed whispers. She backed them with evidence, but false evidence. Eleanor was a master of manipulation, a puppeteer controlling the strings of the digital world. She created fake identities, personas that did not exist, yet seemed so real, so tangible. She crafted these alter egos with such precision that they fooled even the most discerning eyes. But she didn't stop there. She manipulated social media accounts, twisting them to her will, using them as tools to support her deception. She posted, she shared, she commented, all under the guise of these fabricated identities. Every interaction, every post, every comment was a piece of the puzzle, a part of the grand narrative she was building. Her lies were not harmless. They were like wildfire, spreading rapidly, consuming everything in their path. The stories she told went viral on Facebook, sparking outrage and fear. The community was on edge, tensions were high. The accusations were not just against one man, but an entire community, casting a dark shadow over innocent lives. The effects were far-reaching, extending beyond the digital sphere. The community was in uproar, and innocent lives were being torn apart. The stage was set, the performance had begun, and Eleanor Williams was at the center of it all, orchestrating the chaos. As the dominoes fell, the community was left in shambles. The fallout of Eleanor Williams' unfounded allegations was catastrophic. The city of Barrow-in-Furness, once a peaceful community, was turned upside down. Her tales, as riveting as they were terrifying, spread like wildfire across social media, fueling a raging inferno of hate and suspicion. Imagine, if you will, the shockwaves that reverberated through the community as her stories were shared, liked, and retweeted. Families locked their doors, neighbors watched each other with suspicious glares, and trust, that fragile, precious thing, was shattered into a million pieces. The allegations were not just against faceless strangers, but included a local businessman, a man well known and respected in the community. His life was turned inside out, his reputation left in tatters. The damage done to him and others falsely accused was immeasurable. But the fallout was not confined to individuals. The entire community was pulled into a vortex of fear and anger. Hate crimes spiked as innocent people were targeted solely based on their ethnicity, a horrifying consequence of the seeds of distrust that Williams had sown. And yet the true victims of her deception were often overlooked. Genuine victims of abuse, their voices already struggling to be heard, were drowned out by the cacophony surrounding Williams's lies. The credibility of the criminal justice system was called into question, making it even harder for real victims to come forward. The ripple effects of Williams's deceit were far-reaching, the wounds deep and lasting. She had not only lied, but she had manipulated, using fake identities and social media to prop up her falsehoods. She maintained her innocence even as the evidence of her deception mounted. But the truth has a way of revealing itself. In the end, justice prevailed. The gavel fell, the courtroom hushed, and Eleanor Williams, a 22-year-old from Barrow-in-Furness, was sentenced. 8.5 years in jail for fabricating claims so horrific, so unimaginable, they shook the very foundations of her community. The court proceedings were a whirlwind. Accusations flew, evidence mounted, and in the center of it all, Williams, with her tales of torment and abuse. Claims that were nothing more than a house of cards, ready to collapse under the weight of truth. She had spun a web of deceit, roping in innocent men and causing a ripple of hate crimes and community tensions. But it was her manipulation of social media, her creation of fake identities, that truly exemplified the extent of her deception. She used this digital stage to amplify her lies, making them viral, making them real in the eyes of the world. But when the spotlight turned on her, the illusion shattered. The impact of Williams's actions didn't end in the courtroom. The aftershocks reached far beyond the confines of Barrow-in-Furness. Genuine victims, already burdened by their own trauma, now faced a world more skeptical, more hardened. The criminal justice system, once a beacon of fairness and truth, had been manipulated, its trust betrayed. The fallout was catastrophic. Lives were ruined, reputations shattered, and a community was left divided, trying to pick up the pieces of a lie so elaborate, so damaging, it could have been plucked from the pages of a crime novel. Eleanor Williams, once an ordinary girl, now a symbol of deception, sits behind bars, a stark reminder of the power of truth. Her story serves as a chilling warning of the damage lies can inflict, the lives they can ruin. In the end, it's a tale of justice, of truth prevailing over deceit, of the consequences of our actions. And it will echo in the annals of true crime, a stark reminder of the power of truth.